Do you want to find out what happens in this position? White can take the queen, but then black can check and take the queen. But then what? Keep watching to find out. This is Grischuk versus Nakamura at the FIDE Grand Prix. Grischuk is the first finalist after beating Nakamura in a brilliant game. Let's check out this game. Nepom went on to beat Radoslaw to qualify as the second finalist. Let's begin. The first game they had was drawn. Now Grischuk has the white pieces. If he wins this game, then he goes through to the final of the FIDE Grand Prix. Let's see what happened. d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, g3, Catalan, bishop e7, bishop g2, castle, castle, and now d takes c4. Queen c2, get the pawn back, and now b5. This move is not a surprise, because he played it against Rajabov in round 1, against Dubov in round 2, and now against Grischuk in round 3. The semi-finals, a4 and then b4. In this position, Grischuk chose to deviate from both Rajabov and Dubov. Instead of playing knight bd2, bishop b7, and after knight takes c4, c5, which is how both of the other games went, Grischuk chose knight fd2, c6, forced, knight takes c4 is the best move. Now let's have a look at the other options. What is wrong with e3? Because then you can take on c4 on the very next move, but white does not have time. b3 is a fantastic move, forcing the queen onto the wrong square. If queen takes c4, bishop a6. If queen c3, then knight d5 first. After queen c4, bishop a6. Take, bishop takes f1, king takes f1, knight d7. Black will be better. c5 will come, rook c8 will come. Rook d1 first transposes to the game. Nakamura has to take the d4 pawn, and now rook d1. Here's the big difference. The queen cannot get back to d8. The queen now has to go to a silly looking square. Queen c5 first, bishop e3. White's moves are quick and natural. Both bishops look fantastic. The pieces are coming out very quickly. Queen to h5. Black is using a lot of time moving his queen. Is it worth it? Knight bd2, knight g4, attacking both bishop and pawn, and knight f3 defends h2. Knight takes e3, knight takes e3. We get this imbalance. Who would you pick in this position? I would pick white. His moves are a lot easier to make. He is ahead in development. He has queenside pressure. What is black's plan? Just sit and defend? That just sucks. a5. Knight d4, bishop a6. Black's best piece is the bishop on a6. The queen on h5 is doing a little bit, but it's not ideally placed. You want the queen on d8, perhaps. Queen on c7 on a dark square. Rook a c1. White has easy moves. He's down a pawn. Does it matter? Of course not. This is typical Catalan compensation. Rook c8, bishop f3. Queen g6, bishop e4, queen h5, bishop f3. Of course no draw. No way. Or else what is the point in going through this game? Queen g6, bishop, and now king g2. Grischuk deviates. No repetition for Nakamura. He still needs to suffer being a pawn up. Rook a7. Nakamura is trying to get his pieces into the game. Rook c7, maybe rook d7. Knight hasn't left its starting square, and it is move 22. White's position looks nice, but what to play? I really like this next move coming up from Grischuk. All his pieces are on ideal squares, but what to do next? Let's play the move and then discuss. h4. Now why? I really like this move, followed by the next one. It's putting some big questions to the black queen. g6. Black needs to get the queen back. Queen to h6, queen to g7, and then bishop to f6. However, the pawn on g6 gives white a hook. Are you enjoying the video so far? Then why not subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to get notified each time a new video is released. Back to the game. h5 ideas in the future will always be possible. f4. Stopping g5 ideas, but really gaining space on the king side, because at the moment it's unclear how white can make progress on the queen side. So let's just try to make progress on the king side. Queen h6, knight b3. attacking a5, planning to come into c5, and now Nakamura plays a move which explains the situation. King h8. 20-minute think. When you play king h8, times are tough. Now what else is possible? c5. Makes sense, you want to go c4 next. So let's put a stop to this with knight c4. We have nice knights here. If you take, queen g7, let's say rook c2, it's still very difficult for black to play. Knight b3, king h8, and now bishop d3, trying to swap off black's best piece. Or if knight c5 straight away, looks good to me. If f5, bishop d3, trying to swap off the worst piece. If you take it, rook takes d3, followed by rook takes c1. Now, why did black play f5? Well, what else is possible? If rook c7, trying to defend c6, maybe we can go knight takes a6, get rid of the best piece, and maybe knight c4, attacking a5, planning to come into e5. It's just so difficult for black to play an active move in this entire game. It's difficult to watch. Bishop d3 played by Grischuk. Bishop b7. Hikaru tries to keep his best piece. Knight c4. Beautiful outpost for the two knights. c5 check. Bishop e4. Bishop a6, trying to keep the most active piece, and now Grischuk gets his pawn back with a big positional advantage. Queen tries to come back into the game. Queen f8, bishop f3, rook d8, and now h5. Point of bishop f3 is to support h5. Attacking the hook on g6, bishop f6. h5, you've got ideas of perhaps rook h1, but Grischuk has other ideas. He correctly judges the fact that with rooks off the board, white's position is still very pleasant. Bishop f6, take, rook d1, and now rook takes d7. The rooks come off, and now no point taking on g6, so let's play h6. This pawn is trying to be an annoying pawn in the black position. White goes for the rookless middle game. Grischuk believes his minor pieces are stronger. Knight b6, and now we see the intro to the video. We now see a beautiful knight dance displayed by Grischuk. Knight b6 was the final error from Nakamura, because after knight b6, e5 is no longer guarded. Grischuk takes advantage of this by going knight e5. Also, the c5 pawn is weak. Queen is sitting very well on c2 to attack c5. Bishop takes e5, and now knight c6. Can't play king g8 because queen takes c5. Bishop takes e5, knight c6, attacking queen and bishop. Double attack, knight c4. This allows the beautiful knight dance from both players, but it only leaves one player on top. Does it leave white or black with the upper hand? Let's have a look. Knight takes d8. Knight e3 check, forced. King f2. Knight takes c2, forced. Knight takes f7 check, forced, and leading to a winning endgame. King g8, knight takes e5. White is left with a winning position. Let's see the rest. c4. Black has a threat. White creates a threat of his own first. Bishop g4. And now knight d4 to defend c3. There is no time to go c3, because after take, if you try b3, then bishop takes e6 check, cleans up. If b takes c3, still bishop e6 check, and now bishop can come back to c4. There's one little trick here. Knight b4. Do not play the blunder, bishop takes a6, because c2 works out. You can't go knight d3 because knight takes d3, and then you can get your queen. Here, just be careful. One move after knight b4, get your king to e3, because after c2, king can come back to d2. The king is back in time. Bishop g4, knight d4, and now king e1. Planning king d2, king c1, king f8, king d1 first. Still, there's a trick. e3 looks logical, and then king d2, why not? But here c3 is working out in black's favour. b takes c3, and now b3 is the stunning try. Notice you cannot take because b2 just wins. The knight cannot go back to d3 because of the bishop. After b takes c3, b3, bishop f3 is the only try, trying to go bishop e4, then bishop back to b1, but knight takes f3 check, and then b2, knight d2, and now bishop d3, and who knows what is happening. Engine says equal, but so what? All of this is completely unnecessary. Grischuk chose king d1 first, and now e3 is next. King e7, e3 chasing the knight. Grischuk could have chosen knight takes g6 check, king f6, and then knight back to e5. Knight g6 check works out because after h6 and h7, you get your queen. e3 was chosen by Grischuk instead, still completely winning, and after knight b3, knight c6 check, rounding up all the pawns. King f6, knight takes b4, bishop b7, bishop e2, attacking c4, knight a5, king d2, planning king c3, king takes c4, knight b3 check, king c3, knight c5, a5, and white is just running the pawns down. Black hasn't even started his kingside counterplay. There have been no chances. Knight e4 check, king takes, knight takes g3, and now bishop d3. g5, f takes g5 check. Hikaru resigned. Let's see what would happen if they continued. King takes g5, let's grab the pawn. The only source of counterplay, king takes, and now bishop d3. Still there is no play. King g7, run the pawn down, a6, and now king c5. If king f8, you can go knight c6, king e8, b4. King d7, b5, b6, b7, it's too easy. You can't take because after check, a7, and notice the king can't even get back in time. A dominant positional display from Grischuk, who goes through to the final of the FIDE Grand Prix. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then why not subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to get notified each time a new video is released. Plus check out all the other videos I know you'll love too. Until next time.